In 2010, the Tees Valley Authorities secured £57 million from the Department for Transport to implement the Tees Valley Bus Network Improvement Project. But what exactly is the Tees Valley Bus Network Improvement Project, or TVBNI as it's known for short?
The main aim of the Tees Valley Bus Network Improvements is quite simply to improve the bus services in the Tees Valley.
Over 40 million trips are done by bus every year across the Tees Valley, so it's a really important part of our transport network. But those numbers have declined over recent years. People need bus services to access shopping, education, jobs, and we need those services to be viable. And therefore we felt we needed to do something to make sure those services were reliable, punctual and of a high quality to encourage people to continue to use them.
But it's the bus companies who actually run the services. Don't they need to be involved in the project?
I think it's both essential and inevitable that local authorities and bus operators end up working in partnership, something that's being delivered up and down the country. The Tees Valley Partnership has been a long time in development, but it's been on the back of a heavy commitment from both local authority and the operators to get involved. We can't survive unless people have a need to travel in the first place. And so we're dependent upon the local authorities' economy in their area to deliver that demand for travel. After that, we then get into the need to create a desire to travel by public transport rather than by other means. And that's where the partnership starts to kick in.
Buses are so important to the Tees Valley because a third of our households across the Tees Valley don't actually have a car. So for a lot of people, it's their only means of transport. Also, transport contributes a huge amount in terms of the carbon emissions, and we want to try and encourage more people to travel by bus, thus lowering carbon emissions by reducing the numbers of cars. But also, bus operators are investing in vehicles that have lower carbon emissions, some of which are hybrid buses, electric buses and gas buses.
So the bus companies and councils are working together in partnership. Between them, what improvements will TVBNI deliver?
Each of the 5 local authorities has got some major schemes within the programme. For example, in Darlington, there's been some work recently completed on North Road, which removes a major bottleneck and delay junction from the north of the town. So bus service will get a better reliability, and there'll be a bus lane which will improve the journey times into the town from the residential areas to the north of the town. The next project in Darlington will be the Inner Ring Road, which will again improve bus access to the town centre and also improve pedestrian access across the Inner Ring Road. In Hartlepool, the 2 main projects were the interchange, where we built a new bus interchange right next door to the rail station to allow bus and rail interchange to happen more efficiently than it does at the moment, and the York Road corridor, which is a lot of where the shops and on-street parking is, and the buses suffer from reliability problems getting along York Road into the town centre and the main shopping area. So we're improving the reliability of the buses and the parking in that area as well. In Middlesbrough, we've spent over £1 million improving the bus station and making it fully compliant for people with mobility problems. In Stockton, you'll see Stockton High Street and the major improvements to St John's Crossing at the southern end of the High Street, which will foster the regeneration of the town as well. And we've also converted an existing gyratory into a one-way bus lane, which will allow buses to access this part of the town a lot more quickly and certainly give a time advantage over the private car. And finally, in Redcar, we're about to start work on a new interchange in Redcar, which is close to the railway station, which will support the regeneration of the seafront. But the Tees Valley Bus Network Improvements Project is not all about infrastructure. We often forget when we're engineers and we're designing schemes and building schemes up that actually the journey on a bus starts with a journey on foot and ends with a journey on foot as well. And it involves people waiting at bus stops or waiting at bus stations. So we've been very, very keen that that project encompasses what we call the whole journey. So we're talking about planning with information and buying tickets at source, at home. We're talking about improving the facilities walking to stops with CCTV and better lighting. We're talking about making the bus shelters better with litter bins, and we're then talking about the buses themselves. So newer, cleaner buses, a standard and a customer chart that people should expect to see on these types of buses, with driver training incorporated as well, so that the whole journey is a much better experience and becomes comparable to the private car.
Does the partnership need to continue? I don't think we can possibly work without it. It provides a useful, formal framework for us to do the work, but the reality is all that we've actually done with is putting this framework into place is to formalise the arrangement that, for example, I, on a personal basis with Stagecoach, have had with many of the officers at Middlesbrough Borough Council, Stockton Borough Council, Hartlepool and so on for many, many years. Give a bit of framework to it, give a little bit of oomph so that we can actually bring everybody on board, get central government recognising the benefit of partnership, because the Minister recognises the benefit of partnership, and that can only help to bring inward investment to this area.